Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. Also, check out the Discord at the top link in the description and vote on the poll at the top right of the screen. But without any further ado, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some malicious compliance. Will you train your own replacement and make yourself obsolete? Of course I will. This happened some time ago, but as I think, it would fit here. Actors. Names changed obviously. Bob. Boss at the time, old, can't keep up with technology, but had been with the company for a long time, and so got to be my boss. Hans. Hero of this story. Friend from school who works in the same company, but in management, but in a different department. Helped me get this job 4 years prior. Caroline. Co-worker who is not the smartest tool in the shed, but makes up for it in work ethic. Carl, normal co-worker who has worked at the company for around about 6 years and handles most of the old clients' accounts. Has a family, very busy. Me, well, me. Guy in his late 20s, a little geeky, likes computers. This was a small company and our team of 3 were best described as tech support for our clients, but it went a bit further than that. I usually helped with setting up databases and also advised clients from time to time if they would benefit from upgrading their plan, etc. As normal with tech support, we got tickets from the clients and would work away at them one by one. I liked the challenging problems and usually tried to work hard at them. And it just so happened that Caroline liked the more standard problems and enjoyed doing something she already knew over something new every day. Nothing wrong with that. As you might imagine, we two made a good team and had these kind of unwritten rules on who took which tickets. Win-win, win-win. Me, Caroline, company and client. Until we got a new boss, Bob. He immediately noticed that I was working far fewer tickets than Caroline. I tried to explain to him how not every ticket is the same workload, but because he wasn't very tech savvy and didn't understand half the stuff I was doing, he did not understand. Also, around 1 month later, we got a huge new client and I spent a week on site and setting up all the databases and stuff they needed. This drew down my month average ticket numbers even further. Duh. If Bob would have only had half a brain cell, he could have figured out why. Now came something I did not expect from Bob. He said we needed more help on the team and that he approved to hire a 4th member for our team. I was excited. We all were. We had this new huge client and things were not yet running smoothly, and anyway, our company was expanding fast, so this actually made sense. And he specifically asked me to basically do the recruiting process and to work with the new guy in. He might have figured out that he did not have a clue what we were doing, I thought, which I was happy to do. That same night, Hans calls me, which is weird because Hans is not a caller, he's a texter. He basically said, you should come over to my house tomorrow. I have some beers that need drinking. So, the next day, I get to Hans' house, and we are just talking about normal stuff. We see each other maybe once per month, and have a big overlapping friend pool. But this time, it was just me and him drinking beers. No other friends around. After some beers, he mentioned that he had just updated his resume for the day before, and that everyone should always have an updated resume on hand. Do you have an up-to-date resume? He asked. I felt that this was a weird question and had an idea where it was going, so I said, no, but should I? Is there something you know about that you want to tell me? Well, I'm just saying that everyone should have a resume ready, but of course I couldn't tell you if Bob thinks about letting you go, but I also couldn't tell you if Bob is not thinking about letting you go. Ah, I thanked him very much for the beers and left shortly after that. So, I know I am getting fired, and have the suspicion that Bob has just asked me to hire my own replacement and train him to do my job so he can take it. This is where the sweet malicious compliance comes in. I fully comply with hiring a 4th member of the team, and also pick one best suited for what Bob wants. High ticket numbers. So, I am thinking not so smart person with a sloppy attitude that does not care if the customer is happy. After all, customer satisfaction was not important to Bob when he talked about my ticket numbers. I get right on it. Many people apply, some good ones, but I weed those out very quickly. Resumes with lots of spelling mistakes and little experience in the sector are the ones I invite for an interview. The interview stage is trickier because now Bob and someone from HR is sitting in with me, but I am still asking most of the questions and giving my opinions on the candidates. But because I weeded out the good ones, when Bob makes a decision, he just chose the best of the worst. In my opinion, not even the best, because one applicant was actually quite good, but I asked him stupid questions that did not even make sense, and when he could not answer them, I made him look really bad. Sorry, John. I advise one candidate he ends up picking, because he will work very fast and get a lot of tickets done. At this point, I have another job lined up in 4 months' time, but I wanted to get fired by Bob to get some sweet severance pay. After 2 months of training, Mr. New Guy, I have just shown him how to do basic tickets, which he can do quite well and fast, but makes a lot of mistakes with, and have let the hard ones slowly build up. Carl notices, and as he would be the only one after my firing to be able to handle them, I let him in on what I was doing. As chance will have it, he had just gotten an offer from another company, and since he also did not like Bob, he had already decided that he will take the offer, but said he could sit on it for a few weeks and time it with my firing for maximum destruction. Then I tell Bob I am done working in the New Guy, and a week later he tells me he sadly needs to let me go because my numbers had not gotten better. He actually used against me that I had not been doing that many tickets while I was training the New Guy. How dumb can you even be, Bob? He also wished me a lot of luck finding a new place to work at with my work ethic. This had been the day I was waiting for. I just thanked Bob and reminded him of the 4 months worth of severance I was owed now, and also 2 months worth of vacation I had not taken and carried over was now entitled to get paid out. As I am heading out, I tell Carl what had just happened, and he opens his drawer with the signed 2-week notice and walks into Bob's office. My girlfriend had vacation time left, and we decided to leave for a 4-week holiday to New Zealand the next week. I proposed to her there. As the saying goes, spend a quarter of your severance on the engagement ring. I started my new job 1 month after returning from New Zealand, and even got a nice pay bump and a good boss. I made sure to thank Hans again, and he kept me in the loop on how my old department went down the drain very quick, and Bob was let go sometime later. When that happened, they actually approached me for taking his job, and I declined. But that would have been the ultimate revenge to him. About 5 years later, last year, I started a company together with Hans doing much of the same thing, but in a different city, and so far, it's going really well. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't understand people that just look at numbers and only go off numbers. Like, there's so many more factors that go into having a good business. It's not just how many things you can sell. No breaks for my shift? Got it. I work part-time at a pharmacy chain, and recently our store got a new manager. We'll call her NM for short. Well, NM is one of the most power trip bosses I've ever had. She always has to enforce whatever rules she can think of. For example, one of my co-workers had to switch with someone for a family emergency. When they told NM, she reluctantly agreed, but the next schedule she put out, she had an announcement saying once the schedules are posted, no changes or switches, how NM wrote it, were allowed. So, for my malicious compliance, we'll start with my former boss used to provide longer shifts, usually 6-hour shifts to ensure we get a good, length-worthy shift as well as a 15-minute break without a lunch. Typically, even if we'd only work 4-hour shifts, he'd still give us a break. For full shifts longer than 7 hours, we'd get a break as well as a lunch. If we had a 4-hour shift, all the supervisors would still make sure we'd get a small break. I believe for most of us, this made it feel like a much better environment as we got a mental break from customers. Our customer service scores would back that up. Our former boss gets transferred, and slowly but surely, NM starts giving us 4-hour shifts. That way, everyone can work throughout the week. She eventually posted a notice on our state laws on meals and breaks allowed from now on. One of them said, any shift that is 4 hours or less does not require a break. The other said that if any shift is 4 to 6 hours, requires a break of 15 minutes. This policy takes place effective immediately. Everyone was kinda mad because of the new rule, but had no other choice to agree. Her words were, "We need to follow policy and not break the rules." This one shift was just me and NM for 4 hours, where after the 4th hour, I had to leave and NM would stay by herself for 30 minutes till the next coverage would come in. We ended up having a huge line right as my 10 minutes were up on my shift. Her expectation, I'm assuming, was for me to stay then clock out. Those 10 minutes were up and I had just finished a customer, so I say, "I'm out, have a good shift." NM says, "Can you help me with the line, then leave?" I said, "Sorry, I didn't get a break, and I wouldn't want to break policy by working and not getting one." I proceed to clock out right as I hit that 4th hour. As I walked out, I could tell she had this look on her face that knew she lost. I ended up telling my other co-workers, and now they're all clocking out right on the exact time their 4th hour is completed, even if she asks to stay a couple minutes longer. It even went as far as one of us having to take a break after our 4th hour completed, only to leave 15 minutes later. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do subscribe down below and leave a like on the video. If you want to check out some other stories, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you want to submit your own stories or just talk with people in the community, then join the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.